characters do you think you can believably, competitively play?
I guess young characters. Like,
Younger, higher, right? Because he sounds younger and higher than me. So good, good. You're hearing yourself pretty well. Any certain type of attitude of character? The young hero, the young nerd, the young sidekick?
I think, yeah, either nerd or sidekick, I guess.
Nerd or sidekick? Okay. Cool. Nerd or sidekick. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back here, and I have a whole file cabinet here of different characters, and I want to come up with something that you can play. Let's see here. Nerd or sidekick? Why don't, just for kicks, let's have you try to play someone who's a little more heroic, only because it'll sort of get you out of your skin and get you up and rolling. So what I want to do is I want you to try to play this character from a show that I worked on called Scrapped Princess. Have you ever heard of this show? No, good. That's exactly how most actors spend their lives, never knowing what the show is until they get in the booth. For those of you who've done theater and things, you know, you have the time to, you have the time to read the script and do your research and figure out the character. With voice acting, it's sort of just instant acting. Add water and go. So you walk into the studio, they go, here's a script, go, be brilliant. What? That's sort of how voice acting works. So you're going to get tossed right into the fire, sir, and we'll see what happens. Let me find my script here. There it is. So, we're going to go here, and let me find you. Yes, you'll be starting here on page 3, Luke 44. I'm going to bring up a copy of that script for everyone else so they can see what I am doing. Okay, so what I've handed him is a dubbing script, which looks like this. Now that probably doesn't look like any screenplay you've ever seen before, does it? That's because this is designed to help someone do ADR and lip flap. It looks a lot like an Excel chart. And the way it's organized is, there's, the first column is just what are called the loop numbers. This is each line in the show. It's usually called a loop, because back in the day they used to loop film to make this happen. So there's the loops in sequential order. Then there's the time code, and the time code tells us exactly in the video where the line sits in absolute time. Then there's the character's name, and then there's the line that the character has to say. And you'll notice there's all sorts of weird things where things are underlined, or there's that little M&S at the top. These are all little codes that we use when dubbing anime to give us a clue as to how the line is set up. So M&S means mouth not seen, so it's underlined. Anytime there's a line where there's no lip flap, we don't have to match lip flap, we love those lines. But any one of those lines is underlined. So that M&S means that the character's on screen, we don't see the character's mouth, so that we don't see any lip flap. We also don't see any lip flap on that line, or on that line, or on that line. So this one down here says on to M&S, which means that the character starts on, and then about there, he goes off, he goes sort of off screen, and we don't have any lip flap anymore. So this is basically just showing you the obstacle course before you have to jump into the pool, so to speak. So what I'm going to do is we are starting. Let me bring that back. Got my mouse. Yay, I got my mouse back. So we're going to start with you at Luke 44. Now the premise of Scrapped Princess is that this is a sword and sorcery fantasy show. The king and queen have had a daughter, princess, and there is a prophecy that when she turns 16, she will destroy the world, like most 16-year-old girls will do. So they decide to scrap her. They decide to throw her off a cliff to kill her. Well, she survives, hence the show, and so she's been raised by a foster family sort of in the woods, sort of Snow White style. And, but now she's 15 years old, she's about to turn 16, and she is on the run, and there's all these assassins after her to kill her before she turns 16. So she's on the run with her brother and sister in a wagon, and they have come under attack by bandits. You are a young knight, and you see 3 young people being attacked by bandits. So you decide that you're going to swoop in there and save them from these horrible bandits. The problem is, you're not very good. You have the best of intentions as a knight, but you're not very capable. I'm going to show you the scene here, just so you get a sense of the context of the scene, and then we'll check it out. That's actually him there. Let me just put the mic on the stand here, and then we'll get into this. Okay. So, loop 44, there's time code there. Oh, whoa, don't do that. Hang on a second, I just need to change one thing. Keyboard settings. Good. All right. So, loop 44 is 126, 34, 23. Good. All right, so now I'm in the right place. So, there's a young brother. So there's the young brother, and here are the bandits. What I'm going to do is I'm going to play the Japanese, just so you get a sense of the scene. And you're also going to hear 3 beeps. Those 3 beeps are when your first line would come. So I'm just going to show you the scene right now to give you a sense of the context of the scene, so you can see what's going on.
全部置いていくのが身のためだぜ。お前らもな。おい小僧、痛い目にあっても知らねえぞ。
このお前たち、人々の暮らしを脅かす不埒な振る舞いはこの僕が許しません。マウゼルの神に代わってあなたたちを成敗します。覚悟、はい、さあ、やっ、さあ、やっ、どう、どう、どう、どう、
So you're not so good as a knight. You have the best of intentions, but you're a little sort of sloppy on things.
Clumsy.
A little clumsy.
Yep.
So what we're going to do here is let me just get you set up on the microphone here, so I can hear you. And now what I'm going to ask you to do is let me get you closer. Well, just a little bit closer to the mic. There you go. Can't hurt it. Perfect. Perfect. Excellent. Now, I'm going to ask you to give me a level. And what that means is that I need to set my levels on my machine here. So what I want you to do is I want you to perform the character at the volume level that you plan on performing it. Now, if you remember, he was pretty far away in that first line. What's your first line? You men down there, right? So you're probably calling out. So give me a nice loud level on you men down there.
You men down there.
Cool, hang on a second. Give me another.
You men down there.
Oh, one more.
You men down there.
There we go. There it is. It's going smooth. All right. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to play you a preview in Japanese of just that line, you men down there. And the idea is you're listening to it to see if you can hear the actor's intention. Can you sort of see what the Japanese actor's going for? There's no point in trying to imitate him because he's speaking a completely different language. Doesn't matter. But you want to sort of hear what does he want from his scene partners and about what the timing is so you can match the timing. So here's a preview in Japanese.